And welcome back. We are talking about international travel. Well, not just travel, but living abroad, working abroad with Cha Jones, who is the president of Global Bound Consulting and also the founder of Expat Women of Color, which is a nonprofit association for women who live and work and study and travel abroad. So welcome back to the show. Before we took a break, you were giving us all sorts of pointers on how to be safe and all that good stuff. But one of the things that you've done to help make it easier for those of us who may want to venture out and try what you have done is you've written a book. Yes. That's called The Nomadic Chick's Guide. You too can live abroad, a guide for women and self-initiated expats. So how did this book come about?
I was just thinking about all the questions that I get. So I get like all these random questions from women who really just want to know, how do I start off? Like, how am I able to go do what you did? And even though my story is a little different, the fact that I did it, you know, the process is still the same after you get there. So I just started thinking about how can I just put it all out there and help people. And so this is my first of a 5-book series and they're just mini books to just give information and then also kind of tell the story and weave it together. And so that's pretty much how it came about.
You have, within that book, talked to others who have traveled in order to put your points together, or is it all based on kind of your key learnings when you traveled?
It's really based off of what I know to be true, and then some of the things I've learned through grad school and going to an international school with other people who have lived and traveled abroad. And then I also surveyed some of the friends that I've met along the way. I mean, I have a plethora of friends through my network. It's over 3,200 women. And so I have a pretty extensive research pool, so I'm excited about that. And I think the book is going to be great as far as giving people the knowledge and skills of where to go, point them in the right directions without having to ask a bunch of questions. It gives them a lot of resources about finding jobs, and it kind of defines what it is to be a self-initiated expat and an assigned expat, and it defines that for them because there is a difference. So
is your target audience young women? I mean, is your goal to kind of help young women do what you did when you were sitting on that sofa in Charlotte? Or can anybody sort of read and take advantage of the tips and the points that you have to offer?
I wrote it from the point of view of a woman because I'm a woman.
Yes.
But really, a man could pick up this book and find all the information that he needs. He needs to be safe as well. There's some things that he probably shouldn't do, but it's not written specifically for women. There are women in mind, I would like to say. So it's just basically pointing any person who wants to live abroad. I particularly draw upon women, and a lot of them are young, but there are some women who are in their 50s and 60s that are embarking on deciding to live abroad. Some of them are at retirement stage, and they're like, you know what, I want to take my retirement and I want to get the best for my money. And I can do that in a foreign country where the cost of living is cheaper.
Talk about the resources that you have, the 3,200 that are part of your network, but how many have you helped with your coaching and with your consulting firm?
Oh, a lot of people.
Yeah. Too many numbers to count, right?
On average, I get 10 to 15 people a day that contact me and ask me questions. And I love helping people. So a lot of it I do freely, like, hey, no, I can answer that question for you, no problem. But as a consultant, I work with major corporations that are sending people abroad. Coaching one-on-one, I don't work with that many people because I'm just one person. So I try to only, keep it down to 5 to 6 people per month. But I answer questions quite often.
And what do you think is driving that interest in wanting to be abroad and wanting to travel abroad and wanting to spend some time abroad? What's motivating people to make those calls to you and do what you're doing?
Well, when I was in grad school, my research was published, so I have another book, and it's based off of the fact that there are about 6 women that I interviewed who did live abroad, and I really wanted to answer that question, like, what in the world made you live abroad? And for the most part, it's the freedom and flexibility. You know, when you have freedom to do the things that you desire to do and you're not boggled down by all the constraints of trying to pay rents, having this job that requires most of your time, it gives you a better lifestyle. So you have a new generation of people, and I call them the new urban migration, or they're on this new urban migration, migrants. And so they're moving abroad so that they can truly have the life that they desire. And they're not constrained by, you know, I have this 9 to 5 and I'm climbing the corporate ladder, but I can truly go to work, sit on the beach, and then enjoy my life.
It's interesting that you put it that way, because I would think that this would cost a lot to be able to live abroad. But you're saying it's just the opposite, because I guess you're looking for resources and sponsors to help pave the way and pave the way for you, correct?
Not necessarily. I mean, I've talk to, interview a lot of male and females who have moved abroad, and it doesn't cost that much. And a lot of people think that you have to be part of the rich and famous and have a Learjet and go to Tahiti tomorrow. That may not be your destiny. Maybe you want to go to Thailand, and the cost of living in Thailand is a lot less. And if you get a good ticket, once you get there, then the cost of actually traveling amongst countries is a lot cheaper. For instance, when I lived in Korea and I went to Malaysia, my ticket cost less than $45.
Wow.
And then I could go to Singapore, which was $15. So once you start traveling, you figure out how to travel on a budget, if that's your thing, or how to do it, you know, cheaper than you would have done it at home.
Right.
And it's just based off of what you desire and what's important to you. You don't have to stay in a 5-star hotel. You can stay in a hotel where you could bid on it, and maybe you get that price for $29 a day. Where are you going to stay at in America for $29? So
Very few places, that's for sure. Well, as I said, you've got tons and tons of resources, so I want to make sure everybody can get a hold of you, and also all the information if they want some more stuff from you. We've got a couple of minutes here. So you've got a blog that's called thenomadicchick.com. The book, of course, The Nomadic Chick's Guide, You Too Can Live Abroad, a guide for women and self-initiated expats. That can be found where? It's
going to be on Amazon. It's going to be an ebook. You can find it on my website. You can go to chajones.com, or on the blog, The Nomadic Chick, or Amazon. And it's going to be available Friday, November 13th. So
very good. Well, we'll be on the lookout for that, that's for sure. And then if people want some information about your global bound consulting, should that be the chajones.com, or is there another source for there?
They can either go there, or they can go directly to globalboundconsulting.com.
Perfect. Any last few words, anything, tips that you would give people if they're considering this, but they haven't kind of put the toe in the water yet because they're still a little bit afraid to step out there?
I would just say have an open mind. If you truly want to live abroad, or if you just want to travel for an extended period of time and get your feet wet and find out if this is really something for you, because it's not for everybody. And I say that you should know yourself. But if this is something that you want to do, I would say have an open mind, go with no expectations, enjoy the ride, find out who you truly are, because I think travel opens you up to yourself. It allows you to learn about who you are, what you want, and what you don't want.
And opens you up to so many different cultures as well, which is a beautiful experience as well.
It's a learning experience, and I love to travel, but more importantly, I love meeting people and having experiences.
Thank you so much, Cha Jones. We appreciate you being here, and thank you for being with us. We'll see you again next time. Thank you.
Thank you.